Okay guys, I gotta double check my microphones because as always I'm always a little bit behind. So it looks like we're pretty decent on the volume. Tonight we are reviewing a very, what I call a fantastic instrument. Uh, there's two groups of people, okay, whether you're brand loyal or not, and you play Ibanez, let's say you play uh, any other aftermarket guitar company other than the two big ones. We're talking Fender and Gibson. Even if you're playing Gretsch, you're going to have one that you like and one that you don't like. Maybe Fender is your company, maybe Gibson is. If the Gibson Les Paul doesn't really do much for you, maybe you should look into one of these. This is Fender's FMT model. It is a set neck. Yeah, it's a set neck Telecaster. Beautiful instrument. It is, in my opinion, the Les Paul killer. So if you like Les Pauls and you like that Les Paul sound, but you just think they're heavy, maybe awkward, a lot less weight, exact same sound. And the playability, it's good. Everyone, like I said, is going to be a little different. If you like the Les Paul, but you just don't like the weight, this might be something that you might be interested in looking at. Before I get too far along with it, I do want to kind of go over the beautiful case. This case is sharp. And we are experimenting tonight. You are on... If there's a little lag in the cameras, the camera that I'm using right now is tied to another camera, which is tied to my phone. So I'm actually going to cheat, and I just saw the screen go wacky, and that's because of my phone. Whenever I turn the phone on, it goes into sleep mode. It's kind of bad. I have to remember to use this camera. This one's wired in, so I can switch. And then when I go back to this scene, voila. So let's look at this case real quick. It's a small case as far as size. Look at that case. That is sharp, isn't it? Right here we've got a little compartment. Here's all the receipts. I always keep my receipts for what I pay on the guitar. It's very padded. This is padded, very furry. All through here is nice and soft and padded. And what I really like, I'm going to unplug the guitar here. Check out the fit on the guitar when it goes in. It smushes here, here, and all through here. There is zero movement in that guitar, in that case. And you can see up here the string line. So when you close it, it makes contact. There's a latch here, and then your latches across the face. And this is a Fender case. Does the guitar come with a case? No, it does not. It does not come with the case. But if you're picking one of these up, this case, this is the one to buy. This is the Fender Telecaster tweed case. Sharp case. I wanted to protect my investment. That's the big thing, protecting your investment. When you buy an instrument and you know you're going to keep it, invest in a decent case. You can see the vendor tag right there. And I keep all my tags on it. So this case was $199 for this case. Nice case. I'm a sucker for tweed. I like the tweed. That's just me. I'm going to switch the app over. This is what I always have to go to this camera before I switch the app. And now we can go back to that camera. We had someone ask if we could do an overhead camera on the last review. And I didn't know how well the computer was going to do that. So let me bring our little bench over. And our bench is a 2-speaker V30 Celestion cabinet. So if you know the channel, we do detailed reviews here. If you're wanting the typical YouTube review where someone just says it's great and they jam on it for about 15 minutes and that's about it, this is probably not the video for you. But if you're a consumer that wants to know what they're buying, okay, and you want a professional evaluation of the instrument, that's what we do here. Professionally, I guess you would call me a woodworker CNC programmer. I've been playing guitar for over 30 years and servicing guitars for over 30 years. And over those 30 years, I have learned to do things multiple different ways, okay? There's not one way that's great and one way that's bad. As you learn, your skills sharpen and you become better. And the reason I say that, it's true with instruments as well. If you hand this guitar to someone that's beginning, they're not really going to pick up the nuances of this guitar versus, let's say, a $200 Firefly Strat. Nothing against the Firefly Strat. Really, there isn't. But someone just learning, they don't really have a style yet. They haven't played enough to develop the skills to hear the difference in the pickups, how well the tuners work, how much mass is in the bridge, how much transfer there is, whether it's a set neck or a bolt-on neck or neck through, if that makes sense. I think all price point guitars have a place. Everyone knows we've reviewed a lot of budget guitars here. But this guitar is about, I think, $1,100 new now. When I bought it, it was $950. So Fender has had some price increases over the last year, year and a half. But I still think this is a solid instrument. When you start looking at Epiphone, and you get into the higher price Epiphones, they're above this price point. I don't want to leave this guitar out. If you're thinking about one of the higher end Epiphones or a cheaper Gibson Les Paul like a Tribute, you should probably look into this guitar. So let's really dig into it and let's kind of go over the features of this guitar. I do have it pulled up on Sweetwater, so we are going to go straight to the Sweetwater effects page.
Jupe said, Avery, forget the telly, pull that gem off the wall, LOL.
Well, yeah, we could do that. That's Linnell's brand new gem. Okay, we're going to go down here to specifications on Sweetwater. It's a 6-string. It's a solid body. The shape is Telecaster. Body material is mahogany, so it's going to have that deeper Les Paul tone. It's not going to sound like a traditional Tele. It's going to have that big beefy sound that a Les Paul has. It's a flame maple top. It is urethane finish, and this particular color is amber. The neck material is also mahogany. They're claiming it's a modern C neck, and it's a set neck. So another reason why it has that Les Paul sound. It has an unusual radius, 15.75, which I think we found in the last review is equal to 400 millimeters. It has abalone dots, which are very nice. 22 jumbo frets. A lot of companies claim to have jumbo frets, but they're really not. This guitar has some beefy frets. It's 25.5 scale length. The nut width they're claiming is 1.625. The nut material is graphite, and I can tell you this guitar holds tune really well. It is a 6-saddle string-through hardtail. The tuners are die cast. They are not locking tuners. These are just standard tuners. And here's the big thing. The neck pickup is a Seymour Duncan 59 SHN1RP. Okay? And the bridge pickup is a Pearly Gates SHPGP. So it's a mixture. Some people claim this is like the Pearly Gate set, but they actually do make a Pearly Gate neck humbucker. So this one's kind of a mix. You have one volume, one tone, which is push-pull coil tap on the tone, and a three-way switch. It is sent with the Fender strings, and a gig bag or a case is separate. So that's the specifications according to Fender. Now, looking at the guitar, the top on this guitar is just, this is probably the prettiest guitar I own right now as far as flame maple. It's a beautiful top on this guitar. Same with the headstock. Everything on it's just beautiful. We do have a binding that goes around the guitar. And spots on the binding. We do have a glue line right here on this horn. It's just a little bit of brown, and that's from the epoxy that they're using to bind the binding to the body. And it is a book match top. So they've taken one piece of wood, sliced it down the center, and then folded them. Looking at the book match is perfect. There's no glue line. There's nothing. It's an extremely smooth joint. When I look at the body in the light, I don't see any sanding errors in the body. The finish is extremely smooth, no orange pitting, so it's well polished. And it does have an arch top.
What is the name of the finish?
This is the amber finish. They do have a red, okay, body color, and they also have a red that has a burst, a black burst. I don't know if, let's go back to the Sweetwater page. Do they show all three colors on the Sweetwater page? Let me go back and check, guys. Yes, they actually do. So let's look at the colors on Sweetwater. So this is the amber one.
Is it thinner than a standard Strat?
It feels about the same thickness as a Strat. So here's the red one with the black. I like this one, but this red one is really pretty. I've seen all three in person. The red one's really pretty. The amber's really pretty. This one's not bad. I like this one too. I'm just not. Everyone has their taste, and I'm not a big burst guy. I like the traditional burst on a Stratocaster, if that makes sense. But on a Tele, that's up to you. I preferred the blonde look, and I fought over this one and the red one. Of course, with a flame maple top, everyone's going to be a little different. So Sweetwater is a good place that you can look at these guitars and you get to pick the weight and look at the top. Anything with a flame maple top, it's going to shift differently. Look at how much shift is in that top. I mean, it morphs and changes a lot.
Is it chambered?
I don't think this guitar is chambered. It's not claiming that it's chambered, and it's not really, really light. But it is lighter than a Les Paul. I've had both. And the main reason I picked this one up over the Les Paul, because I had two Les Pauls, both Epiphones, but still nice guitars. This one was a lot lighter than the Les Paul. We are going to weigh it in a little bit. So if you look past the binding, you can see the mahogany back piece. Okay? And it's 3 pieces of wood on this guitar. Here's the ferrules. All the ferrules stick out of the body just a little bit, but they're all even. There's not one above the other. It's a very even finish. Here's our electronics cover. You can hear there's a little bounce right there. And there is a little deflection in the plate, so that's telling me it is a 1-ply plastic. And feeling it to the body, I'm going to say it's about 1 millimeter below the body, but it's extremely consistent all the way around. We do have a little bit of a round over here, so let's look at our gauges. So the round over on the guitar, according to my gauge, is exactly 1/8 of an inch. And it stays at 1/8 until right here, and they've blended this in, if you can see that. It has a really nice joint right here to make this access nice. So when you're grabbing the guitar, it's nice feeling. Unlike the Gibson where it has like that sharp butt where your palm of your hand butts against it, they've done a nice job of easing this in. I really, really like this neck joint. It's sharp. And you can see the joint here. Now our top round over, it does have a round over, but I think it's a little sharper. Where's my gauge? Yeah, the top round over is 1/16. So it's a 1/16 inch round over on the top and an 1/8 on the back. We do have a belly carve. So it's not a complete slab body. So you have your belly carve here, and since it's an arch top, you have a little bit of a ramp for your forearm when you're playing it. It's very comfy. We do have a binding going all the way down the neck, and I like this binding. The binding isn't white, it's like a cream binding, and I know you're like, well, it should be this way. The binding around the body and the binding on the neck matches. I've seen some manufacturers, they'll do a cream binding around the body and then they put the white binding down the neck, and it looks very strange. The binding on the guitar matches very, very nicely. And where this transitions here, this is nicely done. Now, the neck is, they've rolled over this edge to the frets. And the fretwork on this guitar is above average as far as the fret dressing. We haven't checked the level of the frets, but the way they've dressed the end of the frets and the polishing on the frets, this is as good as you're going to get on pretty much any price point instrument. I'm going to put this guitar right under the American Jackson that we reviewed a couple months ago. Don't know who did the fret dressing on this particular model. I believe this guitar is crafted in Indonesia, and this guitar has been made in Indonesia for many years. People started poo-pooing Fender for bringing over the Stratocaster from Indonesia because you got the Japan, Mexico, and USA, and they're like, well, you've already got 3 runs. Fender has been making Fender instruments with the Fender logo in Indonesia 10 years because all the FMTs come from Indonesia. Pretty sure it's Indonesia. Let me double check. Yes, Indonesia. So I don't understand. This is like the redheaded stepchild of Fender. No one talks about this instrument, and I don't understand why. I've had this guitar for over a year, just not getting around to reviewing it. I don't really think my main audience this guitar would appeal to, but that doesn't mean that it doesn't need a review. I bought this guitar because I wanted something different, okay? And as of right now, I am 100% happy with this instrument. I have not done a neck adjustment once on this instrument. I pulled this guitar out 30 minutes before this review. The last time I played it was 6 months ago. That means something to me. I have some guitars here that I'm constantly chasing the neck on. Does it make it a bad guitar? No. Some guitars, it seems like you chase the neck more on than others. This one, I haven't done anything to this guitar since the day I brought it home. It has stayed in pretty much perfect alignment. And I live in an area where there is winter and summer, so there is a drastic change in temperature. So I'm highly impressed with the stability on this guitar. Feeling our binding going back to the neck, It's perfectly smooth. I cannot feel the transition. And again, they have sprayed the urethane over and on top of the side edge of this binding, and they've sanded that in. It's nicely done. The edge of the frets, this guitar would pass the sock text with flying colors. As I said, the end dressing on these frets it's a single chamfer dressing, but they've really chamfered the fret. It has a nice round over, chamfer, round over, and then to the main chamfer. And the chamfer going this way isn't a steep chamfer. It's probably, I'm going to guess, 15 degrees, somewhere in that ballpark. So you're not losing a lot of the fret with this real heavily angled chamfer. It's nicely done. Feeling our graphite nut, it is perfect to our binding. I cannot feel the transition. I've had no issues with strings sticking. It's graphite. No issues with tuning stability. The tuning keys on this guitar are extremely smooth. So if I tune up, let's say to E sharp, the tuners feel fine. When I tune down, I don't get a sticky feel. They feel smooth all the way across, even on the heavy strings. They're very smooth tuners. And these do not say Fender on them. They're just non-branded tuners. It's a sharp color though. I don't know if you would call this, it's like a smoked chrome. It's very pretty. And it's held up well. It does have like some blues and stuff coming through on the color. Some reds. I don't know if that's going to show up on the camera or not. But it's very pretty. And every piece does it. It's almost like a red, some green, and some blue that kind of shimmers in the color. I don't know if that's something that they've done in, maybe it's considered a black chrome, but it's very pretty. Feeling the consistency of the smoothness. Now, I can already tell you some people are like, well, I don't like a high gloss neck. This is all done in high gloss, but it is extremely smooth. It's just butter smooth. Every contour here is smooth. Now, something I did notice with this is the logo on the guitar. It has depth to it. It's not like a watermark. So this has some thickness when it was applied to the body and they've sprayed over it, and you can feel it. But when you look at it, it doesn't look like a watermark. You can see the depth of the logo through the finish. It's really sharp. Looking at the finish work and all that, it's a well finished guitar. Now we're going to play with the pickups here, and they all return to 0. Looking at our covers, the covers look nice. They're all screwed down tight to the body. Feeling the hardware, there's nothing sharp. I've been playing this guitar, so I can tell you the only issue I've had, and it's typical with these type bridges, is the set screws here do stick out past the bridge. But they don't feel sharp, but I will say if you ran the stocking across it, it would snag the stocking. The high E one has a little bit of an edge to it. It feels like they did chamfer the top of the screw, but they do stick out past the saddle. Is it uncomfortable? No. But would it scratch you? I think it would. There's a couple that have a little bite to them, so it would definitely snag the stocking. The back screws on the bridge, there's nothing sharp, and they've rounded over these edges right here. Feeling our 3-way switch. There's a little jiggle in the switch, but the switch has a good solid feel to it. Now something, I don't know how many manufacturers do this. I kind of like this. If you have a guitar like this, post below. I've never seen another company do this. If you look at a raised body where they've arched the top, the what do you call it? The knobs always set a little funny because it's going up an arch. Fender has a unique approach to this. Let me switch to this camera. Then we're going to switch to the overhead. If you look right here, they have machined down into the body of the guitar. So there's a ramp right here where it's ramping. So they've bored down to a flat spot, set the potentiometer into the flat part of the route in the bottom, and then push the knob in. So the knobs set 90 degrees to the flat plane and are not influenced by this ramp angle. I don't think I've ever seen another manufacturer do that. If you know someone else that has done that, let me know. You can see the arch top and how the knobs protrude out straight. And they've machined the knob down into the body. That's a pretty cool little detail. Looking at our jack, the radius here on this jack is perfect to the guitar. It's not touching here with a gap and then touching. It follows the guitar 100%. So it's nicely done. Okay, let's kind of go over the basics. Let's check it. This is a Fender Telecaster, so it should be 25.5. Let's check the relief on the neck. This neck has about 0.4 millimeters of relief. Probably 0.3, 0.4 millimeters of relief. And if you watch this channel, believe it or not, I don't really care for a perfectly straight neck. I have played guitars with perfectly straight necks, and I do like them. But most of the time, I put a little bit of relief on the neck of my guitar. I kind of prefer that. So, since this is a live review of a Fender, and we're doing it live, I can't go into squirrel mode. But we are going to go through and check the frets. I want to see how nice the fretwork is from Fender. So let's start up here, and we're just going to go right through it, get right to work. And if you don't know how to use a fret rocker, you want to apply pressure to both sides of the fret rocker and roll the fret rocker back and forth like this on the fret. If it teeters, that means the fret in the center is high. And you have to apply pressure to both sides like that to get a reading. Feeling the fret rocker on top of the frets, it's very slick. These frets are highly polished. As I said, this probably has the second best fretwork of any guitar that has come through the house. And that's saying something because we've had some pretty expensive guitars come through here for checking. But this one is very nice. And the frets are beefy. I'm going to double check that one just in case I went down one fret too far with that length. I know it's going to be pretty good because the action on this guitar is actually set quite low. So if we do find something, I'm sure it's not going to be overly horrible. It would surprise me. And believe it or not, I've never checked this guitar. So I have no clue if there is one that's going to show its head. So far, so good. In my opinion, when you get into this price point, it should have good fretwork. It really should. It may not be a super glass, smooth fret, but they should be very level, and it should have a good dressing on the fret. Anything at $1,000, you should get good fretwork. But any more of that $1,000 price point, prices have just gotten crazy, guys, for instruments. Thought I had one. I'm going to say nobody would point that out but me, but I'm going to say there's a little spot below the A right there. I guarantee you anybody else would call that good. They would call that perfect, most likely. Everyone knows I'm just extremely picky. And we got, yep, right there. So we do have a little bit right above the E right there. And it's pretty much the entire fret all the way to the A string. So that's the 22nd fret. You know, something I've noticed on guitars, the second to last fret, a lot of manufacturers have an issue with that fret. I don't know what they're doing, but I would say 50% of the time, that fret will not be perfect. And I'm not claiming to know why that is, but this one, I mean, is it horrible? No. That fret is pretty good. But it does have a little bit of a rock all the way across it up to here. The other spot, like I said, no one would ever pick that out. This one I think they would. Would they fix it? Probably not, because they would say that there's not enough rock there to justify the repair cost. But I'm pointing it out so you know. All in all, the fretwork on the guitar it's beautifully done. Now, looking at our inlays, I can't describe the inlays on this guitar, on this neck, well enough. Look at the pretty inlays. And look at the grain on the neck. It is stupid pretty. This has got to be the prettiest neck on any guitar that I have. It is just sharp. I love the grain detail. All the white checking that's in the neck with these dots, the oversized dots and the oversized frets. It's sharp. Now we're going to loosen the strings. We're going to get you guys some measurements on this. And like I said, these tuners, they are butter smooth. That's something that you make contact with, is the tuners. If the tuners feel nice, believe it or not, your little brain and your hand goes, wow, that's nice. It's like the back of the neck of the guitar. It's something that you're touching. So nice tuners make a big difference in your instrument. So we have our calibers here. We're going to start in millimeters. Let's go across the nut here. So at the nut, exactly 42 millimeters, which translates in inches 1.653. Let's go to our 12th. .25, which translates to 2.285. And our very last fret, .5643, and that translates to 2.222. So let's get some thicknesses. I'm going to slide the guitar down here a little bit. Let's get under these three strings. So at the first fret, we have 21.09, and that's going to convert in inches to 0.8305. And let's get a measurement at our 12th. And at the 12th, we have 22.13. And in inches, that's going to be 8.71. Looking at our string spacing, and this is going to be approximate, guys. By eye, it's coming out to 10.62, so that's going to tell me it's 10.5. That's a pretty standard spacing. So I'm going to put a little tension back on the strings here.
Did you play one at a store before you bought it?
I did. And I saw this model, and I liked it. And the next, I said, I'm going to get that guitar. And I went in to buy it, and it was gone. And the next one they got in was the red one. And I really liked the red one. Of course, they didn't have this one. They didn't have an amber one at the time. So I was kind of like, I think I like the amber one more. And I talked to them, and they said, well, we'll order you one. And I took it on good faith. I did not see a picture of this guitar. I ordered this at my local store, Shenandoah Music, and I got a good one. You know, if I know if something happened and that guitar come in, there was an issue, they would send it back. So I did have them order me this one in this color, but they had a red one there. Both models, well, I've played 3 different models. I played all 3 colors. They all played fantastic. And right now, Shenandoah Music has a used one for, I think it's like $750. That's a heck of a deal because I've already looked at that one, and that one's in mint condition. And it is lighter than this one. Because as soon as I picked it up, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's a light one. So if you're looking for an extremely light version of this guitar, they do have one right now used at Shenandoah that you can pick up.
American Composer says he owns one as well, same color. The Pearly Gates pickups are the bomb.
Yeah, this thing sounds awesome. Oh, I'm sitting here tuning it, and I'm like, well, why isn't it tuning? It helps to plug it in. I'm not going to hit you guys with all the sound. Just a real quick tune. Wow, I went real sharp, didn't I? By ear. Okay. So what we want to do now is I want to check the intonation from the factory and see how well the first fretted note is and how well the CNC has set the guitar up as far as the nut cut to the bridge, all that kind of neat stuff. So I guess to check this, I'm just going to leave it in, I'm set to 35-40, down a half step. I'm just going to leave the tuning there. Does that affect it? Sure it does.
BCG says, is it a neck through and wings?
It is not technically a neck through. It's a set neck, like a Gibson Les Paul. So you can see the joint here. So it's not technically a neck through. It is a set joint guitar. But I love this contour here. I'm not really sure why Gibson has stuck with the heel joint. Gibson has a long tenon joint model. They have plenty of glue surface there to eliminate that heel and bring that more into the guitar and create a nice, something that you can grab comfortably like that. I don't understand, Gibson has more modern versions, same with Epiphone. I get it, it's a traditional body. Still make the classic, but give us a modern version with a nice heel joint. Fender, again, I think Fender loses a lot of sales on this guitar because they don't push it. I never knew they made a set neck Fender. I walked in the store, I'm like, well, that's pretty. He goes, yeah, and I picked it up, I'm like, wow, that thing's not a bolt-on. And then when I looked at it, 2 humbuckers come with Seymour Duncans, I'm like, this thing's a winner. It's a winner. So, of course, I had to buy one. And it's been a fantastic instrument. So here's our D. And I'm pretty sure that this was set up intonation-wise to E standard, I'm guessing. But we're going to check it. You guys can't see the meter, right? Yep. Last time I went through this and you guys couldn't see the tuner. So our D sharp is a fraction sharp on the 12th. Our first fretted note. Our E is a fraction sharp. Going to our A string, G sharp. Again, a fraction sharp. And the A is a fraction sharp. Our C sharp. This tuner is beyond sensitive. Just a fraction sharp. First fretted note, just a fraction sharp. And I'm watching the rotation. Since they're on the sharp side, I want to see if it's just the way I'm pressing and the setup is good. I'm not going to say that it's bad because everyone frets a guitar a little differently. As long as I'm seeing consistent results, the setup itself is consistent. It's a fraction sharp, first fretted note. Alright, let's move to our B string, which is our A sharp in our case. Fraction sharp. First fretted note. Fraction sharp. That one has the less rotation, but it's still sharp. First fretted note. I'd say the setup on it's really good as far as intonation. Now let's look at our string action height. And this is Imperial. So Imperial on the 12th. We're going to say it's 0.062. And our high E is 0.060. You guys can cross-reference my gauge reading here in a second. I'm going to say in metric, that's going to be like 1.65, 1.65, somewhere in that ballpark. And it's right on 1.5. The string's right on that mark, millimeters. So the action is, for me, it's lower than most of my guitars that I play. It's got a nice feel to it though. Now, everyone knows these are the Seymour Duncan Pearly Gates. So let's get some pickup readings. Volume's all the way up, our tone's all the way up, and our push-pull is down. So we're going to start at 20k ohm. And in the bridge position, our Pearly Gate is reading 8.19. When we do the coil tap, it's reading 4.15. Checking our inductance. Down in humbucker mode, it's 4.57. And when we split it, it goes down to 1.96. In our center position, we have 3.77, 78, and that's 20k ohm. We split the coils, it drops down to 1.88. Checking Henrys and inductance, both humbuckers, we have 2.15. When we split the coil, it drops down to 0.89. 20k ohm, neck pickup, We have 6.92. Splitting the coil, we have 3.43. Our inductance in Henrys is coming in at 3.75 in humbucker. And split, we're at 1.57. Again, good pickup numbers. You can tell there's some copper on the pickups. They haven't overcharged the magnets to give you a wild reading. Don't let someone tell you that you have to have a huge K rating to push your amp. You know, the old PAFs that everyone loves, the breakup one, those pickups were between 7 and 9K. They were. So when you really turn up your preamp section on a pickup like this, it has a different breakup. It really does. Me personally, if I'm going for high gain, I tend to lean more towards the 12 to 13K range, and I like my inductance around 6, 5 to 6, somewhere in that ballpark. That's what I've seen in the past. Does that mean that I'm hunting for that particular number? No, if I see that number, odds are I'm going to like that pickup. That doesn't mean that I will, but it gives me a ballpark, what I've seen in the past on what I like. Start testing your pickups, start writing them down, and you'll start to see a pattern. Whether you like a twangy sound, you know, maybe a medium distortion sound, and write it down. Under heavy distortion, I'm liking this. It will give you a feeling when you're out shopping for pickups. Okay, I think the only thing we have to check out is the radius of the fretboard, and they're claiming it's 15.75. So let me go through my gauges here. I do not have a 15.75, so we're going to look at our 15 first. And I know the action is low on the guitar because my Stuback gauges, the reason I like the Stuback gauge, this is your radius and this is an offset. So this part of the gauge, if your neck is here, you can bring this gauge up and use it as an understring gauge to set the saddles. It's a little better than putting it on the top, because if this radius is 12 and you come up 2 millimeters, well, it's no longer 12, the radius has changed. So it's pretty nice that Stumac's done that for you. That's how I use it. Whether or not it was intentional, I have no idea. Yep, I see a little bit of a crack in the center. And check the 16. Yep, and a little bit of a crack on both sides. So that's what my gauges are telling me. So that is accurate information. I think that's pretty much everything, guys. The only thing I missed, it does have 2 batwing string trees. If you're familiar with the channel, we're going to take a 5-minute break. So anything that I've missed, okay, now's the time. Please put in the chat window something that you want to know about the guitar, something that I can gauge or we can look at. The only thing before we take a break, let's since the whole purpose in the overhead camera was to look at the electronics, because you guys got on me, you need an overhead camera. I'm like, okay. So let's try to use this overhead camera. We really try to do the best reviews on YouTube here. It's a lot of information to do live. I try to remember everything. Every time I do a live review, I forget something. So we are trying to get better. I believe there's something to this, showing everything and not editing it out. Even my recorded reviews, I leave a lot of that in the video. Does it make for a long video? It does. But I believe that's what adds the realism and the honesty to everything that I'm doing. So we do have shielding tape on the back of the cover. And I am going to switch cameras. Remember guys, I have to switch to the main. If not, it wigs out the system. So we can see they've got shielding paint right here, and they've run this up to the top, right where the screw is. So that'll make bond to the back shielding. We do have a full-size alpha pipe. Super nice. We do have a standard switch. This isn't the traditional three-way switch like a Switchcraft. It is the modern box switch. And this looks like a Barnes pot. And the Barnes pot is a micro pot. So looking at our connections here, this is a beautiful connection right here. It's a nice round connection, very shiny. And when I push on this wire, it doesn't move. They've tinned that ground right up to the jacket, and that makes that nice and solid. I like when they do that. It's a very solid connection. Same with this one. You can see they've tinned that all the way up to the base of the jacket, and I don't see any little hairs sticking out where they missed a fiber, a strand of that copper. Yep, it's nicely done. Our bridge wire comes across. Nice sheens on both of those. And you can see right here, no, this isn't Christmas wrapping paper. See this? This is a foil. This is not cheap wire.
Is it mahogany?
Yes, this is a mahogany body. But do you see this shielding paper that's inside here? Not only do you have the conductor and the braided cable going around the conductor, it has a piece of shielded paper with a metal. It's almost like Reynolds wrap that adds shielding to the cabling. I see it there, I see it there, and I see it right here. So this is not cheap cable. The wire in the guitar is pretty nice. It's nicely done. Got a little zip tie right there. So this could be an Alpha, not a Barnes. I've never purchased an Alpha push-pull pot. Let's see if I can see any writing on the side. I cannot. So I'm going to try to get this up so you can get a better view of it. It's nicely done. The paint is also really nice. Looking at the machine work that they've done in here, this route is very clean. I'm not seeing a radius where the tool stopped. It's clean here. Looking for step down marks down the side of our route. It's very smooth. It's nicely done. And then looking at the bottom of the route, looking for step over marks as it traverses back and forth, and a retraction mark. I'm not seeing it. It's well programmed. It's well programmed. I'm looking at stuff like that, guys, because that's kind of what I look for as a CNC programmer and a woodworker. I want to see how much time and attention to detail was done to these things. If you start seeing a lot of step down marks, that means they might be saving 2 or 3 minutes. We'll just say 5 minutes on a body versus doing all your step downs, doing your route, and you do all that. It comes down, it steps down, it machines it, then it steps down another 1/4 inch, machines it, steps down a 1/4 inch, 3/8, half, whatever it is. Then your last pass is a clean pass. It comes in, sometimes a 32nd of an inch, sometimes a 16th. It depends on whether it's a 2 flute or a 3 flute or a down spiral or an up spiral. There's a lot of different variations there on how much engagement that you want on the tool. But it'll come back and do one pass just to clean all that up, and then a light pass on the bottom. That you can't get that result unless it has a cleaning pass. Well, I won't say you can't, but it's very difficult, especially after you run maybe a couple hundred bodies. If you have a Haas machine, yeah, its accuracy and repeatability is crazy stupid. But when that bit gets worn, it's going to want to push off the material, and you're going to see step over marks. And if you don't know, that's right. Japanese industry standard screwdriver. Make sure you're using the right screwdriver. These are import guitars, and they're using metric hardware. So if you're having problems, damaging hardware or stripping screws, look into what's called a JSI screwdriver. It stands for Japanese Industry Standard. This particular one is a P.2.100. Okay guys, we're going to now take our 5-minute break after looking at this beautiful guitar. When we come back, we're going to get some sounds out of it. We're going to do some clean, a little crunch, and yeah, we're going to run it through some high gain. Go to the kitchen, get some veggies, maybe grab some of that stuffing that you haven't ate since it's turkey day. Get even more full, and when we come back, we're going to listen to this guitar. And I want to thank everyone for tuning in on Thanksgiving Day to this show. When we're done with this review, we're going to have an open chat, and we're just going to talk guitars and stuff for those that aren't watching football. This is something that, we could talk guitars and amps. Let's take a 5-minute break, and when we come back, we're going to listen to this guitar. Okay, guys. Our amp of choice, Mr. Jerry, is Linnell's THR10. So, what we want to do, we want to go to clean. Because everybody wants to know what this guitar sounds like clean. Let's hit our button here for our tuner. Check our volume. That's a little loud, so we're going to cut our master back. And you can see there's no trickery. It's the guitar into the tuner, coming out of the tuner, right into the amp. And I'm just using all factory presets. I don't have the thing on the computer, it's just factory presets. So I'm rolling back the master. And we are on the clean channel. Our effects, we're using just a little bit of chorus. And we're on echo reverb. And that's set to about a third. Our chorus is set, I'm going to say to about a third as well. So we're going to start in humbucker. Center position. I'm going to cut it back just a little bit more. I feel like I'm having to play a little lighter. There we go. Let's go back to our bridge. Yeah, now I can strike it and it doesn't overgain. Center. Neck position. Let's split the coil, staying in the neck position. And you can hear the volume drop. So let's turn our master up just a little bit. There we go. Center position. Bridge position. the tone back just a little bit. Center position. Neck position. It's got a good sound. Center position. Neck position. It's quacky. I like it with the, in single coil mode. It's got a little quack to it. Versus in humbucker. And you can hear it, it definitely gains center position. Neck position. It's got a good sound. Let's go up to the crunch channel, give it a little crunch. Don't you love live reviews when you make a mistake? Up to our neck position. Full of mistakes tonight, aren't I? All right, let's pull the coil on it. Cool sounding. Here our center position. Down to our bridge position. sounding. Let's go into the humbucker mode, and of course, what everyone really wants to hear. What it sounds like on high gain. Good pickups can do a lot of different things. I'm not the world's best guitar player by any means, but it has really good sounds on the clean. It has good sounds on the crunch with the split coils. There's so many different things that you can do with it, with the tone knob. It can do a lot of different stuff. Usually, a sign of a good pickup, it can do a little bit of everything. And I think these Seymour Duncan pickups, they do that. Okay, let's play something that I normally play. You guys will kind of know the riff. Up to our center position. Up to our neck position. Let's split the coil. You can hear in high gain mode when you split it, it doesn't fall flat on its face like it did in the clean channel. There is a little bit of gain difference, but not near as much. The preamp is pushing, so that's the difference. So let's do the exact same riff in the split coil mode. Center position. Down to our bridge position. They have a good sound. A little sharp on that one note. I like the bridge single coil. It's got a little smack to it. It does everything really well. I don't know what you guys think of it, but that's all I can do for the demo. I try to do a lot of the exact same thing I always do. That way you can hear it. I'm a Seymour Duncan fan. I think Seymour Duncans sound good. They make a lot of different style pickups. These pickups, I think, do well in this instrument. You can get a quacky sound out of it. You can get some higher gain sounds of it. And it sounds really warm when you put a little crunch on it. That's really my favorite setting on this, is a medium gain to a light gain setting. It really comes to life, especially in the split coil mode. Is it a guitar that I play all the time? No, it's not. I'm a hair metal guy. I like playing hair metal music. But this guitar does things very well. It does the Les Paul thing. And I like Les Paul. They're just heavy. And I get the sounds out of this guitar without the weight. Actually, that's one thing we did not do on this guitar, guys. We did not weigh it.
Which Duncans?
These are the pearly gates. Pearly gate Duncans. So I'm going to roll this over. We're going to put it on our scale. Like I said, I always forget something. We're on pound ounces. This guitar is coming in at 7 pounds, 1.2 ounces. So there's your difference versus your Les Paul. If you can find a Les Paul at 7 pounds and 1 ounce, you've done something. In grams, that translates to 3,212 grams. So much, much, much lighter than a Epiphone or a Gibson Les Paul. If you missed part of the review, please go back and watch it. We try to pride ourselves in the best review on YouTube. There are some good review channels on YouTube. Okay, there are. Some people claim I do the best. Okay, but there are other good channels on YouTube doing good reviews. We try to give all the information in a long format version. We don't cut anything out. I made mistakes during the demo. You can hear the difference when I split the coils because I got to reach over and change knobs and change gains. Can you get better tones in each one of those settings? Sure you can. All I was doing was changing the amp model. I left the tone, the bass, the middle, the treble, and the effects all the same. I was just changing the master back and forth on the output going to the interface. That way it wasn't clipping or you could hear it. That's all I was doing. If you go in and you shape your EQ a little bit, you can make it sound a lot better. I want to show you exact same setting on the amp, different gain settings going through the switching and the split coil, what you can expect out of the guitar. If you have one of these, I need you to post down below. This channel's here for product information. This is one guitar. Okay, I have played 3 other ones, and the 3 that I played, the fit and finish was phenomenal, just like this one, and playability was phenomenal. But I need other people to post. That's what it's about. People tuning in to this review in the future, thinking about purchasing a Fender FMT, they're going to go down and read those comments. So your comment is just as valuable as mine. If you bought one, please leave me a comment. Tell me what you think of the factory fretwork, how it was set up out of the box, how it plays, even give us some pointers on how you have yours set up amp-wise for other people. It goes to say, if you bought one and you had a bad experience, you didn't think it was that good, maybe bad leveling, cracking the finish, damaged, whatever it may be, I need you to post down below as well. All that combined information is what the viewer that's thinking about purchasing this guitar needs. I personally think it's a great guitar. Is it a typical Telecaster? Is it going to have the twang and the smack? No. This is targeted towards the Les Paul people. That's what it's targeted at. With the set neck, it's not bolt-on. The Seymour Duncan pickups, and at this price point and the playability, I'd say it's a heck of an instrument for $1,000.
Does it have a glossy neck?
Yes, the back of the neck is a high gloss neck. But we covered all that in the review. We covered everything. We went through it with a fret rocker. We checked the radius. We gave the thickness at all the spots, gave the width of all the spots, checked the tuners. The tuners are great. Graphite nut. We went over the Henrys, inductance, and the K ratings of all the pickups in every mode. So it's a very detailed review. If you come in late, please go back and watch it. We try to give all that information because somebody might want to know, just like what you asked, is it a glossy back neck? And they don't care about the tuners. Well, someone might care about the tuners and not so concerned about the back of the neck. So keep that in mind. Yes, it is a long review, but I try to cover everything. And the big thing is, it says jumbo frets. A lot of companies say jumbo frets. But these frets, they're huge. Those are jumbo frets. Nice, wide, tall fret. That's a jumbo fret. You can do a lot of, you can play this guitar a long time and do a lot of fret leveling before you ran out of fret. Those are beefy frets. And they're good. I would say the fretwork on this guitar is probably second best of the guitars that we've seen. I put it right up with my Schecter up there, and that's a $1,650 guitar. Both of these guitars, the Schecter Mach 6 and this one, really good fretwork. I'm going to put both of them in position number 2, and the American Jackson with the double chamfered fret as being the best. Keep in mind, I can buy 2 of these for the price of the Jackson American. Just saying. So at $2,100, that Jackson better be great, which it was. I think this guitar, at this asking price, it's phenomenal. There's nothing on this guitar that you need to upgrade. It has everything. The nut, the graphite nut, great tuners. It's got a great bridge, great pickups. We looked at the electronics, opened up the cavity, looked at the wiring. It has alpha pots in it. That's a good high quality pot. Nice switch, nice fit and finish. It's a good guitar. And that's what we want to find. Everyone has a different price point. For some people, this would be considered a cheap guitar. For other people, it might be an expensive guitar. But at the asking price, I believe that this is a great guitar. It's well made, well manufactured, and they're using quality parts. But again, if you've had a completely different experience, I need you to post below. And if you had the same experience, please post below. If you didn't notice, you didn't have to be a member of this channel to come in and chat. I want you to hit that subscribe button because you feel this channel is different and has something to offer. We do the best review that I can possibly do. If you can think of something that can make our review better, please post. We are trying to be better. Okay? Go down, hit the like button for me, and if you would, consider subscribing. It does take a lot of work and a lot of funds to do all the reviews that we've done. We have it's going to be 67 guitar reviews now. So, does the channel have a tremendous amount of videos? No. I don't post videos that don't have substance. If I don't have something that I feel that you can get something out of, I'm not posting that video. Once a week we do a hangout where we just tack stuff, that's different. But on a review and our guitar repair videos, I try to put good information in there. So it's 200 and some videos of solid information. So go check it out. Hopefully I've earned your subscription, and I hope you'll come back to watch some more of our reviews. Okay, guys. If you don't have anything else to do, we are going to end the review right now, but we're going to start another live stream in about 15 minutes, and that's just going to be a hangout. I'm going to talk to you guys directly in the chat, and we're just going to talk guitars and amps, and see if anyone bought some Turkey Day guitars. Maybe they went, or maybe you're going Black Friday shopping tomorrow. So that's what we're going to cover in our next review. Again, thumbs up button, think about subscribing. Leave me some comments down below, and thank you guys for taking some of your time on Thanksgiving to join us during this review. Thanks again, guys.